And this probably like, and due to the nature of the event, this might be a personal question, but do you like wet socks?
No.
Okay. Do any of you like wet socks?
No, they give you trench feet.
I have to go
Really?
home.
Do you like wet socks?
Like wearing wet socks?
Yeah.
No. No, I don't.
Why do you like wet socks?
Yeah, well, you kind of, I don't know, you kind of have to when you're going to festivals. I don't know, I could.
Or you can just get much better shoes and better socks.
Yeah.
Okay. Subscribe to this podcast so I can buy more shoes. Welcome back to Everything from Nothing, Ireland's most egregious podcast.
We don't know what that means.
We don't know what that means.
No, we don't. Someone watching this probably does. Sesame Street. Yeah. Welcome back to Sesame Street. I know, I'm not, like, if anyone's looking at the Kit Kats on the table. Yeah, it's that free promotion here. I'll just turn them upside down.
No, we have the credit union thing over there, a leaflet on top of the piano.
Oh, do we?
Bring that over.
Where is that? Where
Get rid of the Kit Kats. Just over on top of the piano. Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah, here, we'll have this here. This is...
Yeah, represent Thurles milk.
Kit Kats, put them in the bin, yeah?
No.
Wink.
Just hover them over.
No, you're supposed to dip the Kit Kats in the Thurles milk.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's actually a good idea. But yeah, no free Kit Kat promo here. Just Thurles Credit Union.
This is probably the nicest milk you can get. Like.
Genuinely, yeah. Like anyone living in Mullingar, I do really sympathise with your the space between you and the nicest milk in the world. But we're back here again. Once again, I didn't know who was coming on, and it's Justina, who I know for a while. And
just like 5 minutes or something.
Just like met her 5 minutes ago, and she's you're not from Dublin, nor are you from Thurles. But yeah, she's living in Thurles. You're an imposter, but she's living in Thurles, but she's moved up to Dublin recently, and she has lots of experience working in events and stuff, and she's a great musician, and she's a really cool person who was just, what were we just talking about again? I wanted to hold this for a minute. We were talking about slang.
Yeah, we were talking about Thurles slang.
Yeah.
I'm trying to bring it up to Dublin now. So.
Okay, so anyone not from Thurles, we're going to talk about Thurles slang. What's some examples of Thurles slang?
Pure decent.
Pure decent, yeah, that's a good one.
Actually, a lot. There is like, I find that that's maybe more of a culture term. Because I do actually find that, especially, because it's kind of funny that you mentioned Mullingar, because I actually have quite a lot of friends there.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Fried bagel.
Do you ever bring them up? What were you saying, sorry?
Fried bagel is definitely a Thurles thing. Like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Fried bagel, that's very funny. Like, who would it like, because how annoyed because someone, you use that as a term when someone's annoyed at someone, they call them a bagel. But like, how annoyed would someone have had to have been? Or how would you associate annoyance with bagels? Did was someone so annoyed by a bagel and then later on so annoyed by someone that they called them a bagel? Like,
I have no idea.
No?
I think some insults just come from like, some people like to just say something that's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like something so stupid that it's like, you can't possibly be insulted by this, but I'm going to insult you with it anyway.
Yeah.
Like.
When I get really angry, I just say you're a bad egg that made a bad bagel. But I don't actually think that's actually like a Thurles term.
Well, that must be the worst thing ever, is it?
You're a bad egg that made
It's like the most polite way of saying that I'm pissed off.
Of saying, don't do that again, like, yeah.
Yeah, or tome. That's a word that's actually nearly pretty much died.
Yeah.
I only know like Gavin's probably the only other person that I know that actually uses that word.
Gavin Burns.
Yeah.
He uses tome.
He says that all the time. He's like, oh yeah, that's pure tome.
Yeah, that's funny. That's pure Bevo word.
I feel like the word tome came from like, isn't it like, what's the traveller language? The shelter, the canter.
Yeah, it was something to do with that.
Someone told me before that words like bure and tome and stuff came from that.
Bure is, yeah.
But I'm not sure, like.
Yeah, I think they are just.
Actually, I read something the other day. In 1800 in Ireland, there was actually 5 different spoken languages. Wow. There was like
wait, what the hell?
Gaelic, English, which are the two everyone would know. But then there was also Ulster Scots, and then there was something called Fingalian or something. Like it's like Fingal with like Ian at the end. And then there was one called Yola, I think as well, or something like that. And I'd never heard of those two until I just saw this post on Twitter, and I was like, I didn't know there was 5 languages in Ireland at one time.
Wow.
That's mad. Do you know any? Was there any slang? But have you seen Thurles slang evolve in any way?
Yeah.
Or are we back in the dark ages?
Like old people, like, well, I used to work in my granduncle's shop in the square.
Yeah.
And I remember my earliest memory looking at him and just not knowing what he was saying.
Yeah.
I thought he spoke a different language, but he just spoke.
Be mesmerized.
Yeah, just looking up at him going like that. And he lived there with his sisters, besides where Johnson's is. And she used to say things like, hola. What else did she say? Just kind of weird, kind of old sayings. You know what I mean? You don't hear people... you don't hear people say anymore, kind of thing. Hola was the big thing. Everyone was.
What's that? Hola.
I don't know what that meant.
Holas.
Like you tell her like, oh, I go mad or something. She go,
yeah. It sounds like the slang has like kind of de-evolved. I'd say now it sounds a bit more fun back then. Like, holas, you don't even know what they're.
I don't know what she meant. Like
that's funny.
It probably just adapted to the culture now, though.
Yeah. It's getting with the times.
Yeah. Because you know the way, because we used to go hang out like in bowls a lot, especially like years and years ago, and I'd always like make it my mission to talk to some older people as well.
Yeah.
I'd often you'd find somebody, especially with the older people, like often they've all seen the fail out, and I was like really obsessed with that time.
Yeah.
It's still really awesome that you can meet people to talk to them about that stuff. But Jesus,
it's like talking about the war.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, but yeah, it's like their accents as well, like especially because they're like really, really thick.
Yeah.
Like especially Thurles accent is. Really hard to understand, but you get there, you're just like listen.
I can't remember. I remember I was talking to someone before, and they were talking about the whole idea of like how older people have like a thicker culture accent than younger people, and they like came up with this theory of like the whole idea of like it actually just starts as a joke. When you reach a certain age, you start taking the piss out of that culture accent, and then you just end up
funny.
with it.
That's
so it's like
funny,
that's why no young people have the accent, but when we're all in our like 50s, we'll all be talking like. Like a Patchwork character. Like.
I definitely think I pick up. I was only talking to someone recently. I would definitely pick up accents fairly quick as well. Like I've always found I've been doing that. I don't know what it is. I definitely, if I went to Australia, like I'd be fucking coming back in the fucking pouch of a kangaroo. Like I would really just like I'd get lost in it. Like, but I definitely. What you're saying about boys, that just remind me like I would like always like doing that as well. Like talking to, people that wouldn't be there with us, which are often older people. And you always get some really interesting conversations that you're not expecting. And Pheasant Island?
Yeah.
Okay, so this story about, so this old guy is really cool, like, and judging, I wouldn't have assumed what he told me, but for whatever reason, we got into conversation. He was like 74 or something, and he told me how he was vegetarian for like the last 50 years or something, which is very uncommon, like, for someone to be a vegetarian that long, and for someone to have decided to be a vegetarian back then. And then for some reason we started talking about Pheasant Island, and he was like, it's wrong, like we have to do something about it. And I told him, I said, well, I'm the Tom Cruise at rescuing pheasants. I told him we're going to pull off a heist. So I got his number. I still have his number. And when well, shit, I probably shouldn't say this on
say this now because
okay, if the pheasants come
allegedly,
yeah,
nothing to do with you if it happens. Huh?
I was in Port Leash at the time the pheasant went missing, so I had nothing to do with it. But yeah, it was a really interesting conversation. It's just a pure conversation you're not expecting when you talk to people that you don't talk to normally.
And if you were to pull off this heist, how would it happen? Like,
oh Jesus! Well, first of all, let me just bring up the fact that Pheasant Island is not even an island; it's actually clearly connected to the mainland.
By a bridge.
So that would make it a bit easier.
And
bridge.
is it not like part of the school as well? Part of the Ursuline.
It is, yeah. It's
but Ursuline is like half of this town.
Yeah.
You don't realize it, but you're actually constantly walking around it, and it's. Yeah.
It takes up so much area. When you look at how much area the church and those schools take up, it's like some amount of the town.
Yeah, but now there's a skate park, so
Yeah, that's good.
it's grand. We only petitioned for that stuff for
30 years. I wasn't even born when people started doing that. Like,
yeah, but I petitioned for it for like 13 years.
That's mad.
But that's because I found out when I was like young, and I was like, I want someone
I remember
to hang
that.
out.
Yeah,
and we kept signing the petition.
Yeah.
Has anyone used it? Have you guys used it yet?
I
no,
did.
Because I moved out, and then years after I moved out, they actually built one.
Yeah.
I tried to, I'm not able to skate, but one of the lads convinced me to drop in on the half pipe one day, and I did it, and just pure typical me, just pure bad luck. I fell forward on my head, which was bad enough, but there's it's done in slats, and there's gaps between them. I landed on my eyebrow on one of those marks and just split my eyebrow, and I was like, of the odds of just trying it for the first time ever and managing to do that.
Yeah, but did you go down a ramp?
Oh, I went down the half pipe and just busted my eyebrow there.
Never
again. Ever on a skateboard.
Had you previously gone down another ramp? Because that's the hardest thing to go down.
No, I'd never gone down a ramp. The only
you just
experience.
Tried to into the half pipe.
Yeah,
that's funny. Fair play though.
Someone else tried and got busted, and I was like, well, they didn't get that busted, and then I split my eyebrow, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I got busted like a few days ago because apparently I tried to go on a skateboard and I face planted. You can't.
Apparently, why do you not remember?
Not really. No, I just woke up and there was a bruise on my head.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Were you indulging in the old beverages?
Yeah. Basically, don't drink and go to the skate park.
Don't drink and skate, kids.
No.
Just drink or skate, kids. Don't do that as only messing.
Or maybe just skate. Just skate.
Yeah,
sober.
kids, just skate. Don't drink. That's our advice here from everything from that.
Wonder is it illegal to drink and skate? Like, because it's illegal to like drink and like use a bicycle or ride a horse.
Is it?
You can get arrested for like drink cycling.
Why?
Drink driving if you're cycling when you're intoxicated.
It's bad, is it?
Yeah, you get arrested for that.
Wait, in Lithuania, don't you need a license to cycle?
I don't know.
In that anyway, in Ray in Latvia, and I know, but then I found out there was a few countries around that area that you need a license to cycle.
Is it for motorized?
No, like bikes. Like Myra showed me her like that she had like a bicycle license, and that like you wouldn't. I think it was over a certain age. I can't remember. There was a load of things behind it anyway, but I thought it was mad. And I looked up about it, and apparently in loads of countries in that Eastern Europe, that part of Europe, there's like licenses for cycling, which I thought was interesting. Like,
I heard that they were going to try and bring something like that into here
They
well.
They did, yeah.
I remember just kind of reading the article and just kind of laughing at it because, like, obviously there's a lot of people that cycle, and especially up in Dublin. And they've kind of been better now to put in, like, more cycle roads and stuff as well.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, if there is a motor, just say if it's a motorized bicycle or a motorized scooter, I think they're trying to bring in licenses for that because there's a motor on it. But for a bicycle, it just makes no sense. Because bikes get robbed all the time, and it's like they want you to pay like insurance, and they want you to have a license, and
that's
it's like
weird.
too many things.
What do you do about kids' bikes? Like, you can't just like make a kid get a bike for Christmas. Like, oh, sorry, you have to go get your license. You're 10.
When I started cycling when I was 10, imagine if they were like, oh, you can't cycle until like you're 16 or something. Like that'd be awful. You'd never start cycling.
That'd be really silly.
Because that's like finding your balance.
Yeah,
like the idea that you could potentially like get a license for a tractor before you got a license for a bicycle. It's like you can't cycle till you're 18, but you can drive a tractor at 16.
That is weird. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised.
That would be weird.
That's why I don't take licenses for bikes or good idea. Because like, what do kids do?
Just
like,
get a tractor.
It's like if you've training wheels, you don't need a license. Like,
you
see a lot of people going around their 30s with training wheels.
And what about like motorized skateboards? I've actually seen this in the last
year. Oh, what do
year.
they call them? Booster boards and stuff like that.
I don't know.
The ones with the button in the middle, and you like.
They're mad.
Oh no! It's just a skateboard with a motor underneath.
Oh no!
But you have a button in your hand.
Yeah, and you just stand on it and you just go.
They're mad.
They're like, I think they I don't know.
Is the button connected with a lead or is it wireless?
No, it's wireless.
You
charge it, then you go home and you charge it for a while, like plug it into the wall and that. Like, it's really cool. They're mad. They've been massive now for a few years all over the world. But I've seen some now. You've probably seen loads in Dublin now.
In Dublin, yeah. Well, I did actually. I never tried to go on one of them, but I did try to go on. Do you know what do they call it? It's like one big fat wheel, and you step on either side of it.
Oh Jesus! They're mad.
I don't know if I should be saying this, but I actually tried.
We'll blank it out if it's rude.
Yeah, no, but I tried to go on one of these during Robert Plant's sound check. But I mean, the text let me do it, and then like obviously I didn't go to the front part, so he would see me. So I was just like on the side or the back of the stage. I didn't know how to go on this thing, but apparently if you go forward, you go forward. Yeah. So that's the only way to control it, and I just went straight into a flight case, and I got stuck. Yeah, it was.
It's like the hoverboards. Right? You're nearly thinking about going forward, and your muscles start to go that way. That's how sensitive it is. You have to think about it.
You're good at the hoverboards.
Jeez, I never tried it.
I'm not great.
Do you ever try? Like the clown bikes, really tiny bikes.
The unicycle?
No, like the tiny, like an normal bike, tiny. No. I was at the Galway like Circus convention a few years ago. No, like they're literally about like tiny. That size.
Oh, okay.
And like I'm short anyway, like so I thought, I'll be able to do this, but like you literally have to sit with like your legs out like here, and it's the you just constantly fall over. It's so difficult. Like it's I tried for a good few hours. I just couldn't even go more than a couple of meters without falling.
That's such a like Simpsons thing, you know.
Yeah. For some reason I pictured like an episode of Simpsons when you were talking.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Like I never would experience that if I didn't go to a circus convention. Like it's mad.
You wouldn't experience a lot of things if you didn't go to a circus convention. Like going to a circus convention, like that's a cool, unique experience.
There's a few in Ireland, like.
I have a lot of friends that actually do like juggling or hula hooping or fire breathing, all that stuff, and then they do go to things like either circus conventions in Ireland or EJC is a huge one.
Yeah.
And that goes on
European
for
juggling convention.
Yeah, it goes on for like 9 days, I think, but it's like always like in a different place. So I think like a few years ago it was like in Amsterdam, and then it was like at some point in Berlin or Bristol or something. But I'd like to go just to kind of just like to meet people.
Yeah,
like
and
even
then like I don't know, try.
Like one of the coolest things I went to was through the Dublin Circus community. I don't know what you'd call it, like. But basically they did a thing they were called Renegades, and a renegade is basically an open mic night but for circus people. So we just turned up to like the shed. It was bring your own drink, and it was like basically they had a couch for like, that was the queue. You'd sit down on the couch to say, right, I want to go next, and you get up and perform. So you could juggle, or you could like do Diablo or hula hooping or whatever. And like then you were rewarded with like a shot of tequila, or like,
oh my god,
like if you weren't drinking, there was usually like buns or brownies or something there, like, so you could just have something to eat. I didn't perform because I did Diablo, but I was never good enough to get up in front of people.
Did you get some tea?
Or now bun?
I just kind of sat there and watched. Drank.
Good.
Got some entertainment.
It was right good. It was really cool buzz. Like, it was like really interesting. Like, I don't know.
What would you have done if you were there? What would you have got up and done there? Now, bit of a trick. Any party tricks?
I'd sing a song for them maybe.
What song would you sing?
I don't know.
Imagine you doing like an Oliver Twist song. I don't know why. Mind you doing like and flicking the coin like that.
I could be, could be something like that.
I think
maybe.
The coolest thing I saw was like there was a guy and a girl who were like they were like acrobatic kind of partners. Yeah. And she was up on his shoulders and he slipped, and like she just thought on the spot, jumped, grabbed the rafter, and like he fell to the ground, got back up, steadied himself, and then she dropped back down onto his shoulders. Cool. And it was just so cool to just see that happen, because he saw the panic and they just sorted it out so well. Like, it was.
That's mad. What would you have done, Justina, if you were there?
I don't know.
We're here now. This is a circus convention. I don't know if the audience can see by our.
I tried to hula hoop once, and I tried to juggle, but I mean, I'm not very good. I just throw shit up in the air, and then it never lands in my hand. Like, poi, probably. Yeah. I actually did that for a while, or at least my friends tried to teach me. Sock poi is easy. Contact poi, not so much.
What's that?
Contact poi would be like 2 balls on a string, and sock poi would be just like a ball in like a sock or whatever. Cool. But with the 2 balls, you can actually just like flip your hand and just have things going everywhere. Or actually, I recently tried hat tricks. Apparently, I'm good at hat tricks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, no, my
Aaron, he was actually do that. Aaron's sick at it. Like, he's literally fucking spinning his hats around his fucking arms. It's like a fucking, it's like a thing as a life. Oh, no way.
Yeah,
that's mad. He's doing mad shit.
What would you have done?
What would I have done? Jesus. What would I have done?
The Angelus.
Oh, I'd show fucking. I could be fairly good at cutting my fingernails if time. Like, really, like, honestly, like, you wouldn't even think. Do you know what I mean? After you first cut your fingernails, it's kind of like you do it so like it's a bit jaggedy. Like, I don't even need like the files. Like, I just got that precision kind of thing going on.
You definitely get the shot of tequila. For that.
Oh yeah, I'd hope so. I'd have fucking narrow fingernail. Like, you need a bit of tequila to suit it. So you're. Back, you're living in Dublin a while, so you're working at events and stuff. You've worked at like loads of events. I've worked at a good few with you. If anyone I know that's worked at loads of events, you'd have like, what's the maddest story you have in an event, or like an unforgettable experience? Like, good or bad? Whatever you're comfortable. Like, I suppose, like, it would be funny. Like, it doesn't have to, like, one where it's like
we'll edit it out,
unforgettable.
Like, nobody will hear about.
Yeah, no. If you'd ever do say something like that, we can take it out, but you probably won't. Like, but something that's unforgettable, like a moment that comes to your mind when you're like, oh, I remember that. Oh. Like maybe some bizarre, like, meeting someone even, or like you've always been like taught, like, I don't know, worked up close with like the bands, like the big bands, like some of the biggest bands, main crews and stuff. Like, you've done, I don't know, you've worked at like a serious amount of big events. Yeah, no, I've been working since like 2013. Wow. But like, it kind of started really small, and it kind of started with like a cleaning company at first, and then eventually, like about 4.5 years ago, I managed to kind of get myself to Dublin, and then since then I've been working like Tree Arena, Board Gosh, all the stadium gigs and stuff like that. Wow, like, I worked like a lot of gigs, but I have actually met some pretty cool famous people. Yeah, you have. That's like
but it's kind of like it's always on the off chance because it's not really like not always do we actually get to meet people. But there was this one time where I accidentally met the whole of Diggable Planets. Accidentally got stuck in the lift for all of them. I didn't get stuck, but they were like they needed some boxes brought over or whatever, and I was helping this girl to find like her dressing room, whatever. And we got into the lift, and then like 8 more men like walked into the lift, and then like obviously I was like, oh, do you know like they have like lists for like bands and like what floor you go to and where your dressing rooms are or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, I was like, what's the name of your band? They were supporting Lauryn Hill. So that was like pretty like that was a huge deal. But
if I wanted to go to that gig actually,
but they were like, oh, we're just this band here, and I was like, oh my god, Diggable Planets. And then I just like turned around, I was like, because they hadn't played in years, so I was like, I couldn't. I was like, what the hell, like this is so insane. But they were like all really lovely, and I got to hang out with them for the day. But
what floor did they go to?
Floor 2.
Oh, I know what type of people they are. They're floor 2 type people.
Yeah, see,
whatever that means.
See, floor 1 is catering and the main artist, and then supporting artists are always like floor 2.
I didn't know that was an actual thing. Now I feel bad.
Usually, no, it's okay. Cause in my head,
I didn't know floor 2 people was a type of thing. Like, there actually is a floor 2 type of people. That's funny.
But it was a pretty insane gig though, because there were like these 2 guys, and they were like in their 30s, and they talked their way in from the crowd into backstage for some reason, then everybody got into shit for it. I was supposed to be there for like the day, like moving easy ups, like, you know, the little like changing tents, like so artists can go back and forth or whatever, and we had to do some stuff, and they had to stop us, and we were obviously like on the clock because shit happens really quickly. And they were like, yeah, no, these like 2 guys got up on the stage with Lauryn Hill with like the phones and everything, and they weren't even from our company, they were from like the other company. I don't work for them anymore. Don't say their name. No. Oh, does it begin with O? Oh god. The memories. Doesn't matter. But like I mean, everybody kind of got into shit, and then after that, we all needed like wristbands and stuff. So like, there'd be times where we would be able to actually even come and see shows, and then like even like especially if you're working there, like they'll be able to either let you into the crowd for a bit of the show or to the side of the stage. And that is like actually genuinely the one thing that is like it's just so worth it going in and like doing the job and doing it really well, and then people kind of respect that as well when you go in and you do your job. So then they kind of, it's like it's a perk, and then they kind of took that away from us because they didn't trust anybody, and it's kind of like it's a little bit strange as well because like the dynamic of the whole place just changed like straight away. And I'd been working for them for probably like 3 years, or something. But like Jesus, that gig changed everything. And same happened at Ariana Grande as well. Somebody got in and started going to production rooms, into her dressing rooms and stuff. So it's really hard because I mean there's so many of us that work there, so like there might be some gigs might take like 100 people to put together, other gigs might take like 12. So like, you know, there's like definitely like massive differences, and when they're smaller crew, usually like they're the people that would like work a lot more, so they'd be maybe more not regulars but more kind of like, you know, kind
they're
of
tighter.
like core crew.
You're used to what happens there is just like core crew is not, it's not even about the numbers, it's about how used to each other you are. Like you kind of innately subconsciously know each other's skills, and you just kind of it works so naturally and organically that like shit just gets done. But then when it's the same, it's like it can be hard the first few times there's new people coming along because they've never done it before.
Well, like that's the thing though, like if you're new, you usually start at bigger gigs, so you can kind of like see the flow of how like shit gets put together and how shit gets taken down. And usually loadouts are a lot faster because, I mean, the load-in might take maybe 9 hours, for example, but then the loadout, they might want to do it in like 2 hours because they have ferries to catch. So like during loadouts, we're always like under so much pressure. And I mean, the job is hard. You're lifting things all the time. If you're working with new people, like you have to kind of give them a bit of a leeway, just kind of even like teach them or even like help them kind of get the hang of things, because like it's just very, very fast. And it is really dangerous. And there's been like a couple of times where like some nearly horrible things happened, but you have to be aware. And that's like the biggest thing about the job. It's like you come in and like it's a fun job, but you shouldn't just be looking at it as like, oh yeah, it's just something fun, it'll be grand. Like a lot of the times it is, but like you have to be
chains being hung up to the thing. If they drop on you, you're fucked. Like,
and like
it's like it's a construction site. Like what I'm even saying, like a construction.
Kind of,
but like, do you know what I mean? It's in terms of you treat it like a construction site. There's less like hammers and less breakfast rolls, but like there's a lot more like chains and stuff. Like,
and I did rigging for a while as well, and I mean like a lot of that stuff is like purely based on like trigonometry and stuff. I'd especially just say like when you're a rigger, I mean like you actually get paid a lot of money to do that job.
They do.
And it's kind of like
risk? What's danger money?
It is, yeah, but like there is a person that would be in charge of all the riggers that does all the mathematics. But like the thing is, it's like if you put up like an 80-ton video wall onto like 100-ton, like just say like weighed out truss, and they want to add in an extra 40, you need to be the person to know that 40 is too much to add on extra, and you need either more motors or more truss or whatever.
That's mad.
And if that shit falls, then that's like career suicide straight away.
Yeah.
And it's just like you need to be so careful, and until you go in and you do that job, like before I'd go to a gig, I'm like I'd obviously enjoy the gig, but now I go to gigs and I appreciate it like on a totally different level.
Fuck.
It's like the light design, the sound design, the set. Like I mean, Jesus, Kaiser Chiefs. They had like a whole like theatrical fucking set, and it just really really crazy stuff. But people bring a lot of really cool things at all, so you get to see.
Yeah, that was my favorite thing of working at festivals was when you go to a few festivals and then you start working at them, and then you start going to ones and you're less like you see them in a whole different light, and the people that like would just go to a festival. Because you're not anyway. Like, it's not like people should be fucking going around being like, "Oh, this person did that," because you're there to have fun. But like, there's a whole other level of like respect and fun nearly when you're just like. Because
some people are there for like a month, maybe longer, actually building the first bit, and then more people start coming over building more stuff. So like, I mean, for festivals, like it's a whole other game, because it doesn't matter whether it's big or small. There's still so much more work that goes into it, and you spend like at least a week or more like building that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas like with gigs, it's like a few hours. Like sometimes you have to get it in a couple of hours, and a lot of times if they come for a couple of days, they might need rehearsals. So it's like the load-in is always kind of heavier, but damn, it's just And this probably like, and due to the nature of the event, this might be a personal question, but do you like wet socks? No.
Okay. Do any of you like wet socks?
No, they give you trench feet.
Really? Do you like wet socks?
Like wearing wet socks?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Why do you like wet socks?
Yeah, well, you kind of, I don't know, you kind of have to when you're going to festivals. I don't know, I could.
Or you can just get much better shoes and better socks.
Yeah.
Okay. Subscribe to this podcast so I can buy more shoes so I can stop getting wet socks.
Good for Kieran.
Would I ever tell you about? I have a really cool story. Remember that first hot box? And that we went up to that. Your father drove us up like, and so I brought up like three. It was a festival, right? It's up in Mo, like when the lads.
What's it called?
Hot box. Daniel watches, the guy that does it. Him and Cheyenne, like he watches every one of these. Like if we're missing for a few weeks, he'll message me and be like, "So shout out Daniel." But his festival up in Athlone and Motor that it moves around. It's in Leitrim at the moment, but. We went up there. The first one is my second ever festival. And I brought like 4 pairs of socks, like, and I kept like, people were really, really nice. They really, because I was just like, I was a little 15-year-old with wet socks. People can give you loads of socks if you need. But I felt really bad because I think I was after using nearly everyone's socks. So I got a load of tinfoil and made socks out of tinfoil.
I remember that.
And then I went down and I was sitting at the fire and then like my feet started burning, and I thought I was just like maybe drunk or something. I was like, what is going on? I was running around trying to figure out what had happened. Like, did I drink something weird or something? Because I was like, what's going on with my feet? And then I realized I was just sitting beside a fire with tinfoil socks. My feet were on fire. It was ridiculous. And running around like I thought someone like put something in my drink or something.
But it's called hot box.
Yeah, it's a
hot box your feet.
hot box open air gathering.
Wow.
It was
my God. I remember that because you just constantly had like no like shoes, or like just constantly having problems with your feet. You were like
well, so after that's what I'm saying. I fucking love it now because I realized that's like I had to, because that was so bad. I went inside my mind and convinced myself that since the day I was born, I loved wet socks. I went back and rewritten all my memories just so I could get by that festival, and now I love wet socks. Only at festivals, so I wouldn't be at home like fucking. Enough. Spraying my socks with water kind of thing. Like I wouldn't.
Well, I mean, at least then in the end, you probably had a really good time and you worried less about your socks.
It was really good. Like it became like a mission. It became like something to do. Like whenever I was bored, I was like,
socks.
Yeah,
maybe you should just create a brand there.
Tinfoil socks, yeah. Have any experience with socks or gloves or wet? I don't know. It's the question of a century. Comment below if you've experience with socks or gloves.
Like socks are like the bane of my existence.
I have to go home if my socks are wet. I'm gone. Like
really?
I have to change the shoes, change everything. It's just.
It is a weird one. Like
the day is over. Like
it's like if they're just kind of damp, it's not the end of the world. But if they're like soggy, then oh my god.
Yeah, no,
it's just so uncomfortable. Like.
Yeah. That's what Owen said. That episode never went up actually because we lost some of the files. But I had said like there's literally nothing better than taking off wet socks in the world. I was like try and name one thing that's better than not wearing wet socks. And Owen goes putting on dry socks. I was like, oh, that is like
game changer.
It's literally the best feeling in the world, like hands down.
No, like any socks that I bring to any festival or even like events. Like I mean, I actually go through socks like quite a lot because I mean like sometimes I'd be in work for like 16 hours and I might either change socks in work or you just don't get to do that at all and then like I'm in steel toes all the time and
that's different.
I really badly need like a new pair of steel toes. So
does shit ever go wrong at these festivals or these concerts or
is the inside scoop?
Like do you want a story?
Like what is the worst?
Oh my god,
the worst where you're all going, oh no fuck, we'll go for the car now.
Oh God!
Well, I want to never work at a festival again. That's that kind of story.
And we'll beep it out, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, no, you don't have to say any names, right?
Yeah. No. Oh well.
And then nice stories, even any funny stories. Like, don't have to be bad. Any funny stories?
Shit that went bad.
The worst. Tell us how fucked up it is.
Good festivals go bad.
I can give you like a wee horror story. It's not really that scary.
No story.
Oh God! I actually like. I know what I'm gonna say now, and whoever watches it, they're probably gonna give out to me now. But so like, what are they called? Radiohead. So they were like playing about 3 years ago or something, and I was trying to get in on the gig, and it was like 12 crew or something, and then I was like, damn, I was like, what is the best way to get into the gig? So I was like, I should like text somebody and become a rigger. I was like, right, I'm just gonna do that. And to be honest, like I had a lot of interest in it. Like in it anyway, but my sole purpose from the beginning was to actually get to go to the Radiohead gig and actually do the setup, and they did give me the gig and whatever, and they gave me like some training or whatever, and then when the loadout came, it was, oh my God, this was like kind of crazy. But like what happens like when you're either an uprigger or a ground rigger, and upriggers go to the top and then they put up like steels or whatever, and then they bring up the motor chains from the
they're
motors.
all hooked in with harnesses and all that.
Like it exactly. Like I mean, in DHRyan it's different because there's a grid, so you don't actually need to attach yourself. But I mean, like if you were like at an actual stage, you would. But anyway, so I'd be like on the floor setting the stuff up and tying shit to the line, and then they would have to pull up the things or whatever. So in the loadout, everything is backwards, and I was on the stage and there was like lighting truss, and they were like on wheels, but like at the height that they were like directly to where like my neck was. And I was like standing here, and there was a truss here, and there was basically a cloth truss there, and whatever it was, like it was a really heavy truss with a really heavy drape, and they were like, we need like 5 people to hold this truss. So when they were like taking it off, they were like, you have to be really careful. Of course they weren't careful. And I've had about 20 people come back to me and like actually tell me this. They were like, this is insane. It was like watching a cartoon. So I was like standing here, and the truss was here, and I pulled in the chain, and as I pulled it in, I like bent down, and then the truss went flying about this much off the other truss, and then I stood up, and I seen like the little hook, so I bent down to basically put it back in the box, and it flew back over.
Just a fucking movie, like a cartoon.
I'm not even kidding you. I actually had one of the riggers, like, oh my God, like fair play to him. He actually ran over and he grabbed me and he like actually dragged me back because he was like, did you not just see what happened? Oh my God. Like, but it happened so fast that it wasn't even like somebody could just like yell, like, be careful or whatever. But Jesus, that truss nearly like took my head off.
That's like a charity.
You got to see Radiohead, yeah?
I did get to see Radiohead. No, totally worth it. Totally worth it. I got a t-shirt.
Whilst wearing your own head.
And I got a t-shirt as well, so I can forever remember this.
Perfect.
It could have very easily turned into Radioheadless.
Yeah. but that's thing. No, but that's what I mean. I mean, like, because like sometimes shit like this happens, so you have to be so careful. And like, of course, that was like nothing to do with me personally. There was like another time as well that there was like, I don't know, like there was like a stage, and there was like a little like wing kind of runway stage thing kind of built around the back, specifically just for lights or whatever. And everything was on wheels, but the 2 pieces were attached to the top layer of the stage with like a triangular truss. And this guy was like going around like unlocking that shit from like one side, but somebody had walked around and done the other side. And when I was like pulling on some like cable, a fucking piece of truss, or not truss, sorry, piece of stage like fell right in front of me. I was like, swear to God, I was like, I just seen like my entire life like flash before my eyes, and the guy felt so bad. He gave me a rose at the end. It's a fake rose, so now I have it forever. Yeah, he was like, I'm so sorry, I nearly killed you. And I was like, this is like, I was like, now you check your shit. I was like, it's okay, but like, you know, that was like incredibly intense.
That's not.
Did you ever see The Artist in Danger? Like where you see
An
a beam
Artist in
heading
Danger.
for
Jesus, I don't think so. I don't think I've actually ever seen anything that crazy.
They're normally just in and out, like which artists like when the musicians or something playing. Yeah, they're normally just in and out with their green M&Ms. It's not true.
And do you ever see strange artists that you're not allowed to make eye contact with or stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually. Oh, Ghost was one of them because I was doing spots and they brought in this new thing, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it for everyone to hear it. Robo spots
Exclusive.
are the worst things you could ever use. I can use them. Robo spots.
Oh yeah, so spotlights they're like you're talking about spotlights. Yeah.
So like manual spotlights would be like kind of facing the stage, and they'd be huge, and you'd be like moving them or whatever. Robo spots, you're at the back of the stage, and you get a screen, and then it's like a little like motorcycle handles, and then you have like little controls, so you have to follow people.
Mad.
But
is it?
It's okay. Like
it's just a really backwards way to do something that's already been figured out. Like,
and it's really annoying to control because you're kind of like just guessing which way the controls are kind of going, because it sometimes it moves a lot faster because it's just a camera on top of a spotlight, so it's not you're not on target, so you kind of have to guess it and kind of do it visually. But then sometimes like the monitor is just not good. Like everything might just look white to you, and you're like, you can't see, and it's like, it's technically then my problem, but it's not, because I can't directly see where my light is going, which is what I prefer normally. But RoboSpots, I understand how they're handy, but I just
it's certain. There's a lot of technology and stuff that there's certain times where that can be used, where when you're using a venue that doesn't have the facilities, or it's not laid out in a way where you can use manual and stuff like that. Like, but sometimes there's a lot of people who use those things for the sake of using them because they exist, kind of thing. Whereas the older stuff that works when you can use the older stuff that works, then you use that. The reason newer stuff is made because of a specific problem, and if that specific problem doesn't exist,
I think people make apps for shit they don't need to make apps for.
It
really fucking annoys me.
Cutting the grass.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, did you ever see Jono, you've been out in his house. He has like an automatic lawnmower.
Oh my god, it's like a little,
it has a little house. It's like a dog, right? So it just keeps going. So they have like all these like electric circuit kind of laid out around the grass and stuff. But the thing just comes out on its own accord whenever it feels like it, and cuts the grass and goes back into its little house like a little dog. What?
No, it's
a goat. Yeah, it's a goat.
That would be more efficient,
Someone I was talking to, I just pure blew my mind. Like, I'd never heard of it before. It was like, basically, instead of using like a normal Hoover in the house, they have like a giant like Hoover thing in the shed, and then there's like sockets in the wall.
Yeah,
and like you plug your Hoover hose into that socket, and then it turns on, and you Hoover from the socket in the wall. So you don't need a Hoover; you just plug the hose into the wall, and like. It just sounds.
Wait, what?
What?
No, I can't even imagine
so it basically sucks the dirt through like pipes in the wall out your shed.
That's mad. It's common, is it?
In about 2003, I'd say the first 3 or 4 houses everybody wanted that in it.
Whoa. I have never heard of that.
And even in the kitchen, you have a kind of little thing under your sink on your kicker board that you just brush the dirt in, and it goes into that.
Great, that's mad.
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
I'd never heard of it. Like I was like, I just couldn't believe it existed. Like, let alone existed like nearly 20 years ago.
Yeah, what the hell? Wow. That's some technology to come. That's right. Yeah, so so you're not from Thurles originally, but you grew up in Thurles. Like, what? I don't know. How did you find growing up in Thurles, not being from here?
I quite enjoyed it, to be honest. It was kind of hard at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because I came down in 2006. I originally grew up and was born in Klaipėda in Lithuania, and I had like English.
So what's like the population of that place? Is big or? The
Lithuania?
No, the
city?
I don't want to say it wrong. Was it?
Klaipėda.
Klaipėda. Okay. What's the population? Sorry.
I wouldn't know. Would you
be able to compare it? Would it be like near to Cork, Thurles, like?
Oh, size-wise?
Yeah, like. Was Thurles smaller than there even, kind of what?
Thurles is definitely way smaller because it's the third biggest city, so it's also a port city.
Okay, so yeah.
So it's actually like it's a really, really nice old city, but there's a lot of like German and Soviet Union architecture, which I've actually been learning a lot about Soviet Union lately.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool because I just realized that I didn't know much of that part of my history, but God, I'd say it's probably. I'm gonna say it's probably the size of Cork, but I could be extremely wrong here. Like, it's been years.
But it is. I was just getting at like So when you came to Thurles, it was Thurles definitely smaller.
Thurles was small, and there was nothing here, and I couldn't speak English, and it was kind of rough for the first few years, but it was like people were still really nice, and they were like constantly talking to you, and like they were talking to me, sorry. And they were always like trying to like really hard to like help me, and like it was just like, it was really weird at the beginning, but then like obviously then like I met you, and then I met like and you as well, and then I think like just over time, like, you know, like just friendships kind of formed. So I did actually love growing up in Thurles. Like, it's still my home, and I love coming back here. It's just a pity that I don't come back here that often.
And what was the so it was going to festivals, wasn't it, that switched? It was like you working, doing what you're doing now. That was like a process of what you were saying, like cleaning that and stuff.
How did you get started? Like,
so my dad was working for a cleaning company called Ryan's Cleaning.
Oh yeah,
so they have a base here and in Dublin, I think.
We're going to send you an invoice, Ryan's Cleaning, free promo there. Invoice coming your way.
Mr. Ryan down the street. Actually.
Oh, did ya? Fuck it, it's free on the house.
He's a new neighbour of Cry.
Will he be related to you? I don't know.
He's not. No.
Okay.
I don't think so. Maybe he is.
Fuck it. In case you are related, we'll give you a free promo there. Ryan's Cleaning.
Or maybe they can sponsor us, you know.
Yeah. And is that how you got into it?
So like my first festival was Oxygen 2013, and I missed it. It was actually the very last one that was on. I missed it, and I was actually there for I think 2 days cleaning it up.
Okay.
And then after that I went to England straight away, and I went to Virgin Media Festival and what was the other one? Leeds Festival. Okay. Leeds Carling, and I got to see like System of a Down and 9 Inch Nails and stuff like that.
Lovely.
It was like absolutely like mind blowing. And then after that I went straight for a full week at Electric Picnic.
Lovely.
And I got to see like a bunch of people there as well. And then after that I just kind of realized, I was like, look, the cleaning is a job obviously, but I just, because like of my age as well, because I was like 16, 17, I was like, I want to kind of develop my career somewhere within the events industry. So I kind of knew that from as soon as I went to my first festival, like EP 2013 was the one that I got the most time to spend in, and I have been to EP every single year since 2013, apart from this year, because it was cancelled.
Because when you're doing, Ryan's Cleaning is less like you get paid, but like also when you're cleaning up, you find like lots of stuff working with like
money.
That is a pro, right? So there's pros and cons. You do find things, you do find money, you can find amazing shit, and it's like, well, for me, it's more like sometimes I think
it's
people
not about
really
obviously it's about the enjoyment you're getting out of what you're doing.
And you get to see gigs, and that's really great. But I think that sometimes people kind of get the wrong idea about cleaners, and we're not supposed to clean up after you. We're supposed to be like, we're supposed to like clean up after people, but I mean, like you're not supposed to leave your tent there. You're not supposed to get sick all over the walls and just leave it there. If you,
it's only fair for the small. It's so I think is it like you're not supposed to. You don't litter because you know that someone's here to clean it up. Yeah. But you don't leave your stuff because like, is there someone here to do that?
I've had people like walk up to me and like literally just walk and buy like a box of chips and walk over to me and literally like drop it in front of me and just watch me picking it up. And it's like, it's like shit like that I'm just like, I know that I'm here, and I know that I'm supposed to be like, taking out the rubbish, but that's what I'm here to do. I'm not here to clean up after you. Like, I'm not your maid.
I had that in McDonald's as well. I used to be on the lobby and
you were working in McDonald's?
Grafton Street,
Jesus.
But I actually kind of like the people watching side of it. Like, it was more, I was making burgers before that, Big Macs and stuff, but I actually liked the lobby. So people would throw the stuff on the ground in front of me for me to pick them up. And like, I would pick them up.
Yeah, no, but it's
I would watch them as I picked them up just to see what their reaction was. I like the whole.
Sometimes you want to give them the intimidating stare.
Exactly.
I've had to do that a few times.
Yeah, but like, but often if you kind of remain neutral, right, not angry or not happy or anything like that, just look at them, like, just watch them. What you happen is they all buckle, like, their friends kind of start to say, for cop yourself up. Their friends usually turn on them and you don't have to say anything.
That's funny. That's exactly
You just bring like a notepad and just like take it out and pretend you're writing and just keep staring at them.
They look down at their shoes and be like,
just like you're taking notes. Like, just take out your phone, type something in, like, and just walk away and just freak the show.
Just say thanks and walk away.
And it's such a pity as well that, like, when you're actually working, that sometimes you can't actually say anything. But like, otherwise I would have like no problem like naming and shaming anybody, especially if I'm not working. If I see you doing some shit, I'm gonna be like,
Well, my most powerful position is completely neutral. They don't know what to make of you. They think you're psycho or something.
But then the thing is, when people do that, they're doing that like obviously from a lack of their own insecurities, but they're doing that to try and like get a reaction. Like,
but it's really horrible though.
It is, yeah. Like they shouldn't be doing that. But when you, well, like if you're saying what he was saying, like that, if you can that neutral, it's definitely a really hard thing to do. Like, but it can be funny when you do start doing it. I used to do that in like hurling matches and stuff. If people would, people like be marking them and they come at the intense energy, like get ready to mark me, and you just be really neutral, and that kind of like catches them back. And they're like, I don't know, like.
But like I do have to say that I'm actually like extremely thankful that was my first job ever, and that I was so young doing it, because I mean, like I grew like a really thick skin after that job, and I mean, like it kind of like there was times when I got like really upset and stuff, and there was like a lot of like, it was a really tense job, but and it wasn't like the work. I think it was just more like the environment. But I mean, after that, I mean, like when I went on to other work, like I mean, I took no shit.
What was after that? What did you do after that?
What did I do after that?
Rigging, or
you worked at just festivals and stuff before the course?
Getting in and getting out, or was it?
Well, I mean, I left, and then I started volunteering at festivals, because I was like, you know what? I was like, I need somebody to see me work. Of course, and I did actually. I got extremely lucky. Like I had some people watch me work that were like, they kind of just threw me in the deep end. They were like, look, do you want to come work for me? You're gonna run like the second main stage in Talents. I'd be like, yeah, cool. And they knew that I didn't know anything, and they were like, look, you look like you want to learn, so we're willing to like give you the work. And that was more seasonal. And then I went to do a course for festival management and sound production in 2015 to 2016. Wait,
this is the one in that one.
Yeah. It was like split between Westmeath and Dublin,
the Button Factory. Button Factory in Dublin Thursday and Friday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
What was the course like?
The course. What do you mean?
The festival course.
Oh yeah, sorry. No, it was really good, because like Mondays and Tuesdays we do like festival management and business. So like you'd be talking about like health requirements. Like if you are going to put on a performance for like, or a festival for 100,000 people, I mean, you are technically a parent to that 100,000 people. It's like there's so many little things that like sometimes people don't think about, like gates or security or like first aid. Like what is it, like dance license if you're gonna sell drink. There's so many little things, and then whether it's a private event or a public event. So we did kind of a bunch of that stuff, and then like on Wednesdays it would be like communications, and then on Thursdays would be with Shani Cads. Shout out to he's
class.
He kept bringing me in after I left. I feel
like I mentioned him like 3 times in his podcast now or something.
Oh no, he's great though, but like
not this one, but all of them. But he's really cool.
Well, we used to do like basically just like recording in the studio or whatever, and then we used to have Tom on Fridays in SCC to do like music theory and music production, and just like learning how to use like Logic and stuff. So it was like it was really intense, because it was like 9 months, and it like the whole course was really, really fast. But it was like so worth it. Like it's so full of knowledge that anybody that wants to do anything to do with like events and stuff, I really highly recommend you go and try this course out. They pay you, it's 9 months, and trust me, it's going to be worth your time, because the knowledge you come out of it is like
it's an instant, and I really mean this. If you want to do that thing, it is the quickest way to get known and into the event industry, hands down, because of like Liam and even Keith now that works there, and all of them. But like Liam, just like he's a really good relationship with all of them. He's been working in the scene for
How do you get into it, the course?
Liam Malloy was actually the first person that I worked for in
events.
He
runs
ever. He was like, because he brought me onto his production team for Body and Soul. And then I actually worked for him for like 2 months, and then he actually told me about the course, and he was like, look, just come up for an interview and just see how it goes, because he was like, I think this course is perfect for you. And I mean, like, again, hands down, best thing I ever did in my life. And it kind of gave me kind of like a much quicker step up to actually even like meeting people, because if you say you're doing this course and for your work experience you want to do like some type of sound engineering or whatever, because you're doing this course, they're like, oh yeah, okay, so you know what you're doing, so we're just gonna give you the stage, be grand. And it's just like, it does kind of give you a leg up. But like a lot, like with events industry, it's not all textbook. A lot of it is based on experience and people that you know. And being textbook smart is really handy, and it's obviously really good. And anyone that goes to college for like 4 years and gets like, graduates and whatever, like, I mean, fair play to them, because I didn't. I technically couldn't. I tried to get into one of those courses, and I just.
It depends on what it is with, but like I definitely think like you can. It doesn't matter. Like I know people who've done 4 years of events. With events specifically, it's like you just need the experience. Specifically, you need those fuck ups with events, and you need to do them on smaller scales before you do them. You don't do a 4-year course, try and do this massive festival and fuck up on that, because then you're done. You do a small event, you fuck up on that, like, and then
Well, it is true. If you're doing a course, people assume you know more than you do. Don't they?
It's like it makes it sound a bit professional or something. But I mean, like...
Yeah, people would look at you. I remember doing the course, like, you'd be on stage with people who've probably been working there for years, and you tell them, oh, you're here with the STC course, and they're like, oh...
Intimidated by you.
What do you know?
Sure, that's how I got my job in Dublin.
What?
That's how I got my job in Dublin.
Yeah.
Kind of really accidentally, because they put me on Forbidden Fruit to do basically like show call hours, and then people were giving out to me that I was there for like 12, 13 hours a day, like not getting paid at all, but I just kind of wanted to be there. And I was like on the main stage, moving instruments, stuff like that. It was really good. And then they were like, you know, if you just show up to work tomorrow morning, you know, just ask them for a job, be grand. And I stayed an extra night in Dublin, and I was like, yeah, okay, cool. And I just went up, like, it was like 7 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, Barry, I was like, I've been here all weekend doing show call hours. I was like, I'm more than able. I was like, can you please give me a job? And then he gave me a hard hat, and I was straight away, and he was like, yeah, off you go. Brilliant. And then like after that, it just like shit really worked
spiraled upwards.
How did you get into the course? Did you just like apply online, or what did you do?
Yeah, I just applied online to go for an interview. And then you go and you have a chat with them, and then they ask you a few things as well, like being like, do you know, why are you interested?
Good. They're really good questions. I've done the interviews for loads of courses and stuff. That was the coolest questions ever. So relevant and specific.
Yeah, it's like if you could throw like organize an event, what kind of event would it be? Like, do you know, that kind of stuff.
Creative questions.
Just kind of to prove you actually have an interest. You'd stick out the course.
Isn't that so cool? Like compared to like other courses, it's like how many points you get, and you might be shit at it. Like,
and like I actually worked it out this way, that with the kind of things that they were teaching us in this course in 9 months, if you were to go and actually go to college to do any of those things, you'd need 4 years to do events management and business, 2 years to do like studio sound engineering or whatever and recording, and then another 2 years for music production and like all that stuff. So that's basically 9 years and 9 months. That's basically what it turned out into. And that's so cool. I mean, like, I don't see the need to go to college for so many years, especially when they give you so many extra modules. I think if you want to learn something specifically, you should be facilitated in terms of them teaching you exactly what you want to know. Do you know? Because it's just like, I mean, like, if they gave you everything that you want to learn in the 4 years, that would be one thing. But when they fill half of your modules with something that maybe like is either slightly relevant or like not relevant, I mean, just do a lecture on it. Don't do fucking classes.
I can see.
Hey, you're allowed. First away, it's fucking
free country, man.
We're never going to get paid on YouTube because we'll make our money fucking by Thurles Fresh Milk. Hopefully, my fucking sponsors.
Yeah, I was trying to be like so like aware, but
no, it's alright. Talk. Do you know that body and soul thing? That was like your first one. Work. That was. I remember we hitched up there. Yeah. And remember the truck. Yeah. That was really funny. we hitched up and we got loads of lifts.
Oh my god, we got so lucky. I'm sorry.
And a truck driver actually dropped us at the gates by the soul. Went out of his way down these fucking.
But he drove past us first, and he saw us trying to like hitch a lift, and then he went and he did whatever. And on the way back, he saw us there, so he was like, "Look, I know, like I'm in a truck, and like usually you don't get into a truck, but he was like, I'll just give you a lift," and he was like,
he was really cool. You could tell, like, but it was funny when he addressed that, like, you don't usually get into trucks. We're like, this man says we don't usually get in the truck. We're gonna get in this truck, and but there was like a bed. There was a bed in the back and everything. Like it was like you were just proper big. I was sitting on his bed like it was fucking days, and like, but he was really cool. But
he was such a sound person. I mean, like definitely, if you're thumbing, be careful. Not everybody is nice. We got really lucky.
What are the chances that you like turned the lift on someone with a bed in the back of their vehicle and they're like the one sound person?
Yeah. It was really cool.
But I mean, they live in their trucks though, because I mean, they're like
this big Arctic fucking truck.
I know, but just like from the outside, it just sounds dodgy. Like, oh, I got a lift from this guy with a bed in the back of his truck. Like,
but you know, definitely, don't get into back of trucks with beds. Yeah, that's a good advice in fairness. Like, unless you have a good judgment of character.
Unless you want to, whatever.
Look, we're not a fucking dictatorship. We're just a podcast. You want to get it? Never mind. Now, moving on. But I remember that festival as well. It was like the first one. Sorry, I don't know. Can you do that shit there? What is it? Oh, the Wi-Fi. That was the first festival that I started figuring out that like sneaking into festivals was easier when I was doing it on my own. And you were working up there, and I knew that anyway. But I went and here we go now. And I went. I snuck up with you. And I remember I was like staying in your tent, or whatever. And it's connected there. And Yeah, because I snuck in, but like you had gone up, like you were going up, was it like the Monday or Tuesday? So I was just in the tent for like 3 or 4 days, sneaking into festival, waiting for the festival to start. Like I was there for like 4 days.
You were like, I'm working there, like I'm a volunteer. Yeah, no, because I think we went up on like Tuesday or Wednesday.
Tuesday, I think.
And it's always good to go to a festival early if you're working, because Thursday is like crew party.
Yeah. So that I don't think and if you're sneaking in as well, going up on a Tuesday is good as well.
Yeah. You can just sit in the tent for a few days, contemplate your life before you session.
I was reading books. I was reading books, like just waiting for. I go for a walk sometimes, but yeah, people would ask me what I was doing there. You always just say you're looking for a certain person, and so I've definitely said like a few things about sneaking into festivals now. I'm glad I have other plans because I'm never going to get work at festivals again. All the fucking things I'm telling people, all the advice I'm giving about sneaking in and stuff.
Yeah, but like you could totally just like start your own one, and then like nobody can tell you that it can go.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. No, that's
but
why
then
I'm not too.
You have to make it sneak proof.
Yeah. That's why it's like Catch Me If You Can. Yeah. So what's his name? The main guy in it is based on a true story. He was forging loads of checks. He now gets paid millions and millions by the biggest banks around the world to prevent checks being forged because he was so good at forging them. So like I definitely have a whole like different perspective of sneaking into festivals. People see it like building fences and stuff. It's not like that at all. I'm not going to tell you how it is. If you want to hire me, email me. But yeah, I think we'll finish up now. It was fucking, I don't know, it was a really, really good podcast. Anything you want to say about
Thurles milk
or anything like
Thurles milk is the best.
Credit union,
yeah. Thanks to the Thurles Credit Union. They didn't actually
read it out.
They didn't. This is going to seem like they gave us this form to read. They genuinely didn't. You just had it. They're actually really cool and wouldn't. It's not something that they would like ask us to read out form. They're actually really cool and they just genuinely want to support us. But I'm going to read out this leaflet that's lying around. But yeah, if you need a loan, like keep it local. At times like these, many of us could do with a helping hand. If you need a loan to get you back on your feet, talk to us today. We are local, professional, and we have your best interests at heart. And like that could appear. Some people will be like, oh no, but like genuinely, I really believe in the idea of credit unions in general and like storing, keeping your money local. For God's sake, I feel like there's a few things.
People keep telling me, giving out to me because they're like, you should be on credit union because they're the best.
They're good. Like definitely, Thurles Credit Union one, like all the credit unions same principle, but like I don't know. Like I've genuinely dealt with them, talked to them, and they're cool.
It is.
Yeah,
and the percentage is lower if you do actually need to get a loan and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they're much better for that because it's just.
And your money, like I don't know, the other banks, like they're not even like you're keeping your money in Thurles. The other banks are not even keeping your money in Ireland. Like, but anyway, it's not a competition.
That's a topic for a different podcast.
I have to take that out. No, but like just whatever. Thurles Credit Union, they genuinely like talk to them firsthand, and I swear to fuck, like because we already talked about this. We know we can do this anyway. We don't need the support of things we don't believe in. Like this is how it is. Like we gain nothing. Thurles Credit Union don't even gain anything off us telling. They didn't ask us to say this, but I'm just saying it because it's a fact. My opinion, whatever.
Now you have to give all the disclaimers,
Disclaimer.
PC World or
Terms
something.
And conditions apply.
Terms and conditions apply. Yeah,
exactly.
Use code everything from nothing for 10% off. No, that's not true. They never said that.
We get a kickback for it.
See, now people are going to start searching that.
Your money's going to be in our pocket. Oh, no, have to cut that out. Owen. You'll have to cut that. I'll just mark that here. Cut that part. Am I messing? I don't know. You can judge that for yourself.
That sounds more like an intro, really.
Yeah. Right, we're gonna finish up now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for feeling. Thanks for tasting. If tasting, is this a 4-dimensional podcast or is it 3D or?
I think it's 5D.
Yeah, 5D. Welcome back to Ireland's most 5-dimensional podcast. But we're going to go now. Thanks for coming on. It was really cool. I wasn't expecting it. It was random. But yeah, so have you anything to say or anything?
Don't think so.
All right, bye. Are you Owen, our producer? Have you anything to say? Right, I just really right. Okay, bye.